Hey you guys, it's Monica from Show Me Crafty. I am about to embroider on this beach towel, embroider a name on it. Anyway, it occurred to me after I got the beach towel hooped up and it's floating on the hoop. Most of the stuff I do, I float on the hoop because I don't like the hoop burn afterwards. And I thought, oh, maybe I'll just show them how I do this, but I had already floated the towel on the hoop. So I'm not gonna take that off and redo it. But just quickly, what I did, this is my 360 hoop. It's the big one that comes with my machine. I have the Husqvarna-Viking Designer Topaz 50. That's a whole heck of a lot to say. That's the machine right there. Ignore all the mess behind it. This craft room is a disaster. Anyway, it's the biggest hoop that comes with it. It is 200 by 360. So I used a tearaway stabilizer and I hooped that. I hooped the tearaway. And then after I hoop the tearaway, I mark the centers using a little template that comes with it. I'm gonna have to do another video and show you guys. Anyway, I mark the centers, which I do that, but then I turn around and load up my design. And when I initially load up the design and get it, in the right orientation, I hit that little button and it puts this little stitch box around it. I don't know if you can see that. See the stitch box? And so when I hit start over here, it stitches the stitch box onto my stabilizer, and then I know where to place the area of the towel that I want to embroider on. I place it in that box. And so basically, I got this project idea from watching the Embroidery Nurse. She has a channel here on YouTube. She also has a Etsy shop, I think, but I watched her YouTube channel, her YouTube video on the beach towels, and she does them 4 inches up. So I figured that sounds like pretty good placement to me. So I do it so the bottom of my name will be 4 inches up from the bottom of the towel, and the name is centered, 4 inches up and then centered. So I'm gonna go ahead and load this on. I'll have to either show y'all on this one, not on this one, show y'all on another beach towel or another project, how I float projects on this hoop. I did finally I have a 5x7 hoop, but it's a magnetic one, and I don't know, I'm not comfortable with the magnetic hoops yet because I don't feel like it's tight enough. I've used it and things have stitched out fine, but I don't know, I'm not comfortable. I'm used to using my big old hoop, which a lot of times involves me wasting stabilizer because the hoop is so big. So I did get a hoop that says it's a quilter's hoop, but it will work on this machine. It's the 200 by 200 millimeters, so the 8x8 hoop. I haven't tried it yet. I just got that, but I'm glad that I got it because now I'll be able to save a little bit on my stabilizer. Now, one thing I skipped, floated the tearaway on the hoop, sprayed it with 505, placed the towel onto the tearaway, and then I placed Sulky Salvy across the area that's going to be embroidered. So you can see that's the wash away stabilizer on top. And it looks a little loose. I just keep an eye on that while it's stitching out to make sure nothing gets caught where it's supposed to be. And then I take the top of the towel just to make it easier for me to handle and just roll it up. And then I secure the ends with hair ties. This is just to secure it while it's on the machine and kind of keep things out of the way so that it doesn't get caught. So anyway, I'm gonna load this onto the machine and start the stitch out. Okay, so I have it loaded on the machine, and in my haste to just kind of go ahead and get this done, I turned the towel around what I call the wrong way because I'm used to having this portion over here closer, over here on the side where the embroidery arm is. I just like doing it that way. I've never done it this way, but now that I'm looking at it, I'm thinking this way is better. And so the name will stitch that way instead of that way. This will work out better because now my towel roll is in this part of the machine. And so I don't have to cover it with anything to avoid it picking up little, I don't know, these little skid stains that on the embroidery arm. Sometimes there's little black marks that'll get onto your project if you don't cover this up. And I clean it off, but sometimes it, you know, it gets dirty again during the process, and then it'll end up on your fabric and you freak out, and it washes out really easy, but it gets on my nerves. So I didn't intend to hoop the towel this way. I basically hooped it backwards from what I normally do. But I'm not going to take it off the hoop because the design is, either way, it's centered and it's 4 inches up. I just flipped it on here and I'll be looking at it from this angle as opposed to that angle, so no biggie. Let's get started. You see down here on the bottom. Now remember, this, I just said this orientation is different than I normally do it in. But I forgot that in this font, letters like the T and the I, and I guess even the R. Yeah, see how it is at the bottom? But anyway, it started stitching that bottom part of the T, and I totally thought it was starting on the top, and I almost freaked out, so. But it's fine, it's fine, it's okay. Okay, she's done. So now I just have to unhoop it. The tearaway. The wash away is pretty easy to take off here. It's kind of hard for me to do it one-handed, but I'm gonna try. And normally, you know what? I'm sorry, guys. To be so frugal, I was going to go ahead and tear this off on here. But I don't want to tear up this part or this part. These are parts that I can reuse on smaller embroidered areas. So give me a sec. I'll be right back. I need to cut those off. Just quickly here. I'll try to be quick. See, it just comes off like that. And if there's any of it that doesn't tear off, this is wash away. So you can spray it with a little bit of water. If it's an order that's going out, I spray it with a little bit of water and go ahead and take it off. If it's for me, it depends. You know, I might just leave it on there until I wash it. Okay, in there. There shouldn't be any more, but I think, what is that? Yeah, that's done. That's done, that's done. Okay, let me pop her off the machine, which I need both my hands for. Hang on. And see, there's a little box that I was telling you guys about. That's how I know where I'm gonna place the towel. I figure out on the towel where I want the design to go and mark it. Usually I mark it with a pen. Sometimes I'm like a stick pin, like one of these. Usually I mark it with one of these, like stick pin, like one of those. But sometimes I'll mark it with a water soluble ink pen. Just depends. But mark where I want it to go on the towel, and then just make sure it's in this, if it's in this box. So all I need to do is finish tearing away the tearaway stabilizer, and Miss Trina is good to go. Trina girl, I hope you're watching. Your order's ready. Bye.